I started off this week to work on the payment providers. As you know, like from last week, I've decided to move away from StoreKit V2, which is the Apple's version of the payment system, to something of a more abstracted version of the StoreKit version, which is this thing called Revenue Cat. If you didn't know, like a Revenue Cat makes it much easier for you to add payment systems, having a paywall on your application that can work with the App Store, and then that can work with your server and with other multiple providers. And that's what I've been working on at the start of this week. What I also quietly underestimated is handling the membership lifecycle. And so if you didn't know, like a membership lifecycle is since I've never done this subscription membership before, like previously, as you know, like this application was only offering one type of product, one type of offering, which is the credits and the basic prepaid membership, which is essentially based on how many credits that the user is getting and the phone number that they are going to get for this number to use. But having a membership on top of that, which is, a monthly recurring or annually recurring, gives it a bit more a challenge, because then now you have to deal with how do you deal with adding a free trial offer? How do you deal with late payments, cancellations, and stuff like that, or even refunds? So that can become a little bit more complicated if you have never done this before. Certainly for me, I've never done it before. And what I would have done if I was starting this again, as I would have at least laid out a plan or a clear view on how the system would react on each of the events, so that you don't get lost when you're trying to connect these things together, because it can get really annoying when you're starting to deal with grace periods. What happens when they first canceled? When do you know if the account is expired, stuff like that, and how do you then terminate the account? It's, again, I would recommend drawing out just a clear plan on how you would want to manage these things, because then, if you need some help, then you can just get the AI to sort out to then sort things out for you, and then essentially make sure that you are on track, because that's it's quite a big job if you don't know what you're doing. Sorry, I'd say that's one of the biggest ones, because with that one in place, this application can accept the payments from the web, Stripe, and it can also accept payments from the App Store, which is fucking amazing. And only using a one backend system. What I've also never done before is learning how to use Revenue Cat on the iOS app. So I think what makes Revenue Cat a lot, it makes your life much easier. That's what I would say. Like I think in the beginning I said it connects multiple providers. That's also one of the upsides of using Revenue Cat, as opposed to implementing your own StoreKit V2 payment system on your application, which is only available on the App Store, but it's not going to be available, which means that it's not going to be available on Amazon or Google's Play Store if you are planning to release if your application is cross-platform. So that it's going to be very difficult if you don't use Revenue Cat, because then you have to deal with these things on your own. And then second of all, like one of the things I really like is their no-code paywall system, which now you can drag and drop kind of tool to design your paywall directly on the web, and then you can then use that to render directly on your application. And on top of that, you can also switch between your offerings. So since you can change your offerings directly on the dashboard, and then perform A/B testing from there, and then see your analytics and how people are reacting to multiple offers. And so it's some of the things I can go in, like that I'm trying to learn now. But my biggest issue at the moment is rendering the offers on the application. So somehow I'm currently stuck. So I've already finished the integration on Revenue Cat. I've already finished. I've added all the 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 certifications, the API keys, you know it. But for some reason, even the products, entitlements, offers, I've also got the paywall now set up. But the problem is, for some reason, whenever I'm trying to open up the application, it doesn't seem to be rendering my offers. So I don't really know what's going on here, but and that's why I decided not to stream today, because I said I'm gonna be able to finish it by the end of the week, but for some reason this thing is not rendering for me, and I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's yeah. I think I should be able to figure this out, because this is really all I need. Everything's well set up, the service well set up. It can now take all the payments that I need. It can now, it is the missing piece this is the biggest missing piece to then complete the whole application, except for the marketing stuff, because which is another challenge on its own. So currently that's currently what I'm working on. So just fixing this issue with Revenue Cat, and actually showing this paywall on the application. Well, for some reason, yeah, it seems to just error out on my current simulator. I'm not really sure what to do and how to fix this. They do provide you a well comprehensive documentation on how to fix this issue, because it seems like it's a well common issue that a lot of people are going through, especially if they're using this for the first time. The marketing, it can be done at the I think I should be able to finish the rest of the application by the end of the month, and then I can focus more on the marketing by June. Yeah, so this is really the only issue so far. Yeah, so what does it mean? So what's this due to the beta testers? So it doesn't really affect anyone if you're already beta testing the application, because the whole point of beta testing is to offer is for people to just try out the prepaid membership with the full functionality of the application. What the free trials and the membership subscription only does is, instead of having a fixed set of credits per month, instead of having a fixed set of credits per number, you essentially get a fixed set of credits that's recycled every single month. Just like on different tools like 11 Labs, it's fairly simple. Like, that's even I could even say, like, I could even for membership plans, I could even say remove the credit factors on the application, because it doesn't really matter at that point, especially when especially when it's already recurring, and this one would require even more thinking, because but in my own use case, it doesn't really matter at this point to have a credit system if you're already on the recurring membership, because for most application in this space that I'm competing with as well, they simply have a fair usage policy, which essentially tells you how many what is the maximum amount of what is the maximum amount of credits that you can use per month. It's not like, even though they say it's unlimited, there's a fair usage billing that they use to then limit the amount of what it means to be unlimited. And so I could just use the same. I could literally just use that to then start offering this feature for my application. I think why this is a big deal, because then I could simply let go of the web application. I could simply just focus on this. But it's still good to have the web application up, because that's still a good testing ground, and it's also quite similar to OpenPhone's web dashboard. It's pretty good. It's well designed, but I really like their cross-platform feature as well. So that's kind of I'm currently targeting that same feature, where you can use your second numbers directly on your computers, and then from there you can manage your calls. It's almost the end of the month. So next week I'm gonna be focused more on finishing the rest of these things, the internal testing, and then also the marketing. That's gonna be a big deal, because I do I did say like I'm going to be working on the demo of the demo video on the application, but then I decided not to. Decided to then postpone that and then focus on finishing the whole app instead. And but yeah, but it does make your life much easier if I just focus on one thing, which is essentially this, and then I can finally start getting more people in to use the application, because then now you can use the free trial and then have the peace of mind, because what I need to do is testing it and then launching this. Other than that, yeah, that's it. And if you're interested in how to speed up your backend system with Node.js,